what do you think about, like, if you theoretically, if you're in a relationship, you know, I feel like, me personally, there's things as a man, right? That if I had a girlfriend, you know, I'd be like, this is what I feel like I am obligated to do as a man in a relationship. You know, nowadays it's all like, oh, we split everything down the middle, like Dutch everything, like, you know, but I'm not like that. Like, what, like, for example.
Yeah, no.
I mean, are you that old-fashioned way of thinking like me? Because I'm very old-fashioned. I'm not even that old, let's be honest. But, like, you know, I have that very, like, that gentleman mentality.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
I think it's like a generational thing, like you said. Like, nowadays, not so much, because, you know, everyone's, you know, equal, blah, blah, blah. We understand that. You know what I mean? But the way that me and Joel are raised is, you know, like, you have to be chivalrous when you're, like, you know, courting a woman.
We love, like a knight. Like, you know, knight in shining armor.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, whether it be, you know, opening the door for your lady, or whether it be paying for the first date. You know what I mean? Those are things that were kind of instilled into me and you, I'm assuming, right? When we were younger. So, nowadays, I do think chivalry is important. That is my personal opinion. I do think that there are things that a man has to do in a relationship, you know, for his woman. But I think... Or man, I mean, they don't matter.
No, but, I meant that, like,
yeah.
you woman. Like,
no, for his girl, or whatever the case
for his
may be.
boo.
Yes, for his boo. But I think nowadays, like, chivalry is dead.
It is. Definitely. I think a lot... Okay, let me give you a scenario here.
And all I'm going to say is this.
What?
Because it's going to be we're going to go down a real rabbit hole if we get too deep into this, but chivalry is dead, and I think this younger generation of people killed it.
I agree with you.
Yeah, that's my personal opinion, guys.
I mean, listen, I'm sure we'll get eaten alive in the comments, whatever. But you know, like, for example, I'm about this is my mentality, right? If I have this like this cool ass chick, and, you know, we kicking it, and, like, you know, I'm like, you know, we're dating, you know what I mean?
I'm so hood, bro.
So, like, you know what I mean? Because, like, you know, you get really like, you know, passionate, you know. But like, for example, I don't do this just for, like, if I had a girlfriend or something, right? Like, I always hold the door open for people, always.
Yeah.
No, I really do.
No.
Like, I think that's like 인간적으로, like, 기본, like, something that every person should do in like manners. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But a lot of people don't do that now. Actually, I don't think that many people in Korea do that in general. But
I think in Korea they don't do that. Like,
I think it's cultural.
It's a cultural thing in Korea, but in the States, from what I've heard, like, men don't really hold the door open for, like, women anymore.
I always do. So sometimes I feel weird because, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm holding the door open, but no one ever holds open the door for me. Usually, like, it happens, but it's not. Yeah. As common. I mean, that's something that I learned, for example, like opening the door for someone, especially if you're dating this person or trying to woo, you know, this milady, you know. So, like, you know, you go forward a little bit faster, and you open the door and you hold the door open and then you enter. Yeah. And if there's another door, you let them wait. You go in, open the door for them, and let them in.
Of course.
That's to me the same thing with car doors. I always do that.
Yeah.
Like, that would be my thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you, like, bringing up, like, the opening door things just reminded me, like, you remember this. A few years ago, we were in a group gathering with some friends, and me being a nice guy, I'm not trying to court anyone because we're all friends, right? I opened the door for one of our female friends, and she goes, "Why are you opening the door for me? Do you think I'm not strong enough to open the door myself?" I'm like, no, what? I'm just being polite.
I do remember this.
Oh my God.
I don't think I was there. Was I? I don't remember.
I did, but, like, that really, like,
that would annoy me. I'd be like, look, it's manners.
Yeah, it's manners. You know what I mean? Like, you want me to just go out first and slam the door in your face? Like, what do you want?
Yeah, like, you should just stand in front of the door and then be like, well, I'm waiting. Hello, you can open the door for me or what?
Yeah, like, I was.
You want to be petty? Let's get petty.
I was flabbergasted in that moment. I was like,
it's a big word.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus. But,
I mean, but there's some things that, like, I just know inherently, right? Because, you know, I'm a gentleman, you know. Right. Like, for example, if you're walking on the sidewalk with your lady, right? You're supposed to walk on the side that's closer to the road. Of course. Did you know this?
Yeah.
Why is that?
To keep her protected from traffic. Yes. And,
like, splashes and stuff like that.
Yes.
Duh. Yeah, and when it comes to, like, dating culture, right? Listen, okay. I'm not young. Okay, it's not like I've never dated before, but I have this thing where, say you go out on a date, right? Usually there's, like, a course. You eat dinner or lunch or whatever, and then you'll maybe go get a cup of coffee, or then go for a stroll through the park or whatever, right? And strolling through the park's free, so we don't have to worry about that. But the food and the coffee and the little, you know, cotton candy and, like, all that stuff. Right. For me personally, and this is just the way I think, and this is the way I operate, like, I'm not comfortable any other way doing this, is that the one thing that is the bigger price, right? So for dinner, for example, dinner will be more expensive than, like, a dessert or, like, a cup of coffee or something.
Right.
The bigger priced thing, I, as the man in the relationship, I feel obligated to pay it. That's just how I operate. Like I don't like it any other way. I feel really like it feels very burdensome if I'm making the person that I'm on a date with pay for something bigger. You know what I mean? That's how I feel.
I mean, I agree with you to some degree, but I think let's say like a girl asks me out on a date first, then maybe it could be the opposite where she pays for dinner and I'll pay for the coffee or something after. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it also depends. Like if we're going to like Nobu, you know, like premium sushi where it's like $20 for a piece of sushi and we eat like, you know, plates on plates on plates, that's different.
Yeah.
Like because I would never go and eat something like that unless it was paid for in advance. So if it was that kind of situation, then not to say I'm a sugar baby, but I'm just saying like if it was that kind of situation and I was asked to go there, I certainly wouldn't just be like, girl, you had enough. You know how much one of these is? Like, I'm not going to do that. But like, I wouldn't even show myself there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it really depends on the price of things. Because I live within my means. I'm not a person that goes out and buys useless stuff. Because a lot of people do that. People live paycheck to paycheck or in intense credit card debt. You know, just to live a lifestyle that they can't afford. I am not a person like that. I'm very frugal. I don't spend money unless I absolutely need to. Although I am willing to splurge a little bit if it's like a date or something like that. You know what I mean? But
I mean, I think you and I are just born. I honestly think our generation is probably the last generation that grew up with that concept of chivalry and, you know, how to like treat your lady or treat your man, whatever the case
old
may
souls.
be. Like we're old. We're in the words of this younger generation, we're archaic. Right? We're archaic
old
people.
boomers.
Yeah, we're boomers. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Like that's just the way that we were raised.